Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. We are doing a book haul today. I've got 3 that I got myself. The rest of these came from publishers. I've got quite a few here. Try to keep it brief, try not to talk about them too much. I'll just give a brief summary of them. Let's get into it. Also, I'm a mess today. I am out of my completely ran out of a foundation, and I had to order it because, you know, got sensitive skin, so I had to order it. And there was a delay in shipping, so I'm just a mess today. So you get my sleepy dark eyes, you get all of it, but we're friends, so it's fine. Yeah. Also, my sleep schedule is completely effed up. I'm having to wake my kids up earlier, and yeah, it's not been fun. So I'm exhausted, but it's fine. It's fine. First one, I got the next from Fairy Loot. I got the next in the Belladonna series, which is Wisteria. It's fantasy, so it's not horror, but it's fantasy. But look how freaking pretty. This is the 3rd in the series, and it's gorgeous. I'll give you the whole tour. Sprayed edges. I'll take the dust jacket off so you can see. Look, even the actual book, like even naked, this book is stunning. It has art on the end pages. Is that not stunning? So pretty. And of course, anytime you get a Fairy Loot book, it's signed by the author. I won't get into what this one is about because it's 3rd in the series, but I'll let you look that one up in case you haven't read the rest of the series. But I'll show you what it looks like with the rest, like with the whole set. So this is what they look like all together. They did really, really good with putting the whole set together. Look how pretty. I love, love, love all the purples. They did really good putting this together. Gorgeous. I guess I can tell you what the first one in the series is about, which is Belladonna. This is the very first one. Actually, it's really long. I'll just read you like the very last little blurb on the synopsis of Belladonna, because it's really long what it's about. From New York Times bestselling author Adalyn Grace, Belladonna brings to life a highly romantic, gothic-infused world of wealth, desire, and betrayal. So I'll let you look up what it's about because it's really long. But fun fact, I haven't actually read any of the series because I'm one of those people, I'm not into delayed gratification. Like, I'll typically wait until the entire series comes out before I read it because I don't like to wait years for the next book to come out. So I'll hear all this hype and like people will talk about, oh, this series is so good, this book is so good, and I'll get them and I'll get the series as it comes out, but I won't read it until like the whole series is out. So I haven't actually read it, but I keep hearing great things about it. So I've been buying the set, but I haven't actually read them. So I've just been waiting because I didn't want to like torture myself and have to wait. I do the same thing with Netflix because I made a huge mistake and started Ginny and Georgia, and it's been fucking torture waiting for the next season of Ginny and Georgia because the way they left it, and they've been saying coming soon, coming soon, coming soon with the next season, and they've been saying coming soon on the next season for like 1.5 years, and it has been just pissing me off. So I don't know what the deal is, but so I've been waiting on those until the whole series is out, and I have not touched it at all. I have not read any of it, so I can't tell you exactly what it's about, but you guys can look it up because it's really long. Then I got the illustrated hardcover edition of Autumncrow. Yeah, so you guys know how much I love this book, and when I heard that he had an illustrated hardcover edition, I jumped at the opportunity to buy this. It's freaking awesome. Love the cover. Like, love it. I was excited to have a hardcover edition. I'm not going to show you all the illustrations because if you buy it, I want you guys to be surprised, but I'll show you one. This one so cool. But it has, you know, little quotes, and it has a lot of like these smaller illustrations. It has bigger illustrations. It has, it's really cool. So was very excited to have that. And that is Autumncrow by Cameron Chaney. For those of you who don't know, this is a short story collection where all of the short stories are based in this one town of Autumncrow, where it's Halloween all year long. And it is amazing. It was easily a 5-star read for me. And it's one of those that I just love to read around Halloween every year, but I could read it anytime. It's very autumnal and Halloween vibes, and it has the creepiness and just really good. And then I got Evernight, the latest Evernight box. Really excited about this one. I thought I would open this with you guys. Alright, so we have this. So this is October, the October box, 2024. I'm not even gonna look. It's nice and wrapped. Throw that down there. Okay, I got a peek. I know what it is. And I've been wanting it. It's on my wish list. An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I've only read one book by Alexis Henderson and I freaking loved it. This is one that has been on my list. Freaking stunning. I'll give you guys the whole tour. Hopefully this will focus. So it's got like 2 buildings. Like one is upside down. I think it's a reflection. So there's one, and then it's like the reflection of the same scene down here. I think that's what it is. And then, so top and bottom are just, I think it's just like almost marbled. And then the top is like green. Okay. And then the back is this snake with trees. And then the bottom is, again, it has this building, and then it's this reflection of the same down at the bottom. And then it has this quote, and it says, "One of the linens in the mirror didn't strike its cheek. It didn't move at all, really, except to smile." Okay. All right, I'm going to take the dust jacket off so we could see. I always do that. Oh. Okay, so we have a little bit of gold foiling here. Okay, that's the side. These like pillars. This definitely fits the vibe for dark academia, which is what this book is. All right, so then we have end pages. Art on the end pages. Okay. This is the other end page. Alrighty. And then, and of course, it is signed. Alrighty. Wow. It's really pretty. I like that it's dark. It's nice and gothic. Nice and dark. Definitely has that dark academia vibe to it. This one, from what I can tell, follows Lennon. And Lennon's life is kind of falling apart until one day she gets this call inviting her to sit into this exam at this college. It's a college specifically for magic, because Lennon has this special gift where she has this gift of persuasion, which is really super interesting. So she goes to this school of magic where she actually passes the exam, and she starts to attend this school, and she's got to learn to master her power. She's got to learn to control her power, this power of persuasion. And she's getting to know her classmates, and also she starts crushing on Dante, who is her advisor. And he, you know, she's really intrigued by him. He's very charismatic, but he's also, you know, she's intimidated by him, but she's also intrigued by him at the same time. And the longer that she stays at this school, she, you know, and this school is very, you know, it's very lush and it's very gothic, I believe. And the longer that she stays there, she starts to unearth all these secrets about its history. And also she starts to unravel, you know, some things about Dante. And apparently Dante has this tragic and violent history too. This is a dark academia. So it's all the dark academia vibes are here, and the magic, and yeah, it sounds really good. And I loved the other book that I read by Alexis Henderson, and I've been dying to get my hands on this. I'm so freaking excited and so glad I didn't already buy it. Really looking forward to that. The next 3 I have are from Harper Perennial. Okay, guys. So this first one is called, why are you staring at me? This first one is called Creep by Emma Van Straaten. And this one sounds really good. I'm very much looking forward to reading this. Like, I could not wait to get my hands on this one when I read the synopsis. And this is like, almost like an obsession story, but it's, I gotta read you the synopsis of this one because it sounds so good, and no way me explaining it could do it justice, especially since I haven't read it yet. Alice and Tom are made for each other. Deeply connected, they share a flat in London, go to galleries together, enjoy the same books and wine. They even share a toothbrush. It's all so picture perfect. Except Alice and Tom have never met. Alice has been cleaning Tom's apartment every Wednesday for a year. With every smudge wiped from his coffee cup, every multivitamin counted in the jar, Alice spirals deeper into infatuation, imagining a love so powerful it might erase a lifetime of self-hatred and loneliness. But as Alice prepares for the moment when she and Tom will finally meet face to face, she discovers that love might not be the cure she thought it was. Instead, their coming together sets off a chain of events that shatters everything Alice thought she knew and burns her world to the ground. Told in Alice's compelling, deliciously acidic voice, Creep is a literary study of unreliability and unlikability. Exploring alienation and loneliness, class and race, it's a skilled debut with resonance in the way that we view women, mental health, and the lost in society. Does that not sound amazing? I'm very much looking forward to that. Like I said, I could not wait to get my hands on this, and I'll probably be reading this like ASAP. Okay, so this is another one that I've been dying to read, and it's because I've read another book by her and loved it, and that is She's Always Hungry by Eliza Clark. And again, this cover is amazing. So this is a book of short stories. There are 4 stories in this, and they're all surrounding hunger. A woman welcomes a parasite into her body. A teenager longs for perfect skin. A scientist tends to fragile alien flora. And a young man takes the night into his own hands. Each of these characters has a desperate desire. Can any of them be sated? Unsettling, revelatory, and laced with her signature dark humor, Eliza Clark's debut short story collection plumbs the depths of that most basic human feeling, hunger. What an interesting concept. And this one is, it's going to be a new to me author, and it is Sea Friendship by Jeremy Gordon. And this is another one that, this is not horror, but it was another one that I was drawn to, and it sounded really interesting, something different. It's only got a couple ratings. It's got 3 ratings so far, and they're all 5 stars. So I'm not sure what to expect. Ahead of looming layoffs within the ongoing decimation of media, Jacob Goldberg, a culture writer in New York, knows what will save him, a podcast. Not just any podcast, but something that will demonstrate his singular thoughtfulness in an oversaturated competitive market. When Jacob learns the true tragic circumstances behind the mysterious death of Seth, one of his best friends from high school, his world is turned completely upside down. But when the dust settles, he realizes has an idea worth digging into. Of course, it's not simple. Learning the truth, or at least the beginning of it, sends Jacob spiraling. His increasing obsession ultimately leads him back home to Chicago, where he tracks down Lee, a once up-and-coming musician who probably best knew Seth at the end of his life. As his investigation deepens, Jacob's dive to find out the truth and whether there's a deeper story to be told about the fault lines of our memories, life and death on the internet, and the people we never forget, grows into a desperation to discover whether it even matters, whether he can make it matter. yeah, so I just thought it sounded really interesting, something different. It sounded a little deeper than what I've been reading lately. So yeah, and one of the little blurb up here, the little review, it says, it's rare to find a novel about the internet that's as enthralling as my iPhone, not to mention one that is this funny, confident, and genuinely moving. Technology may distort our sense of time, intimacy, and identity, but Sea Friendship depicts it all with refreshing clarity, and I loved it. So yeah, just a little something different. The next two were sent to me by Simon Books, which is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. First one is The Humans by Matt Haig. Loving the neon. I got a lot of neon. You guys know how much I love that. I'm going to have to look this one up because it does not have the synopsis on the back. Oh, so there's another cover out there that looks like... Can you guys see that? Probably not. There's another cover out there that's just like white with a big nose on it. Oh, okay, this is interesting, y'all. I had to look up the synopsis because it's not on here. Okay, so this is about an alien. When an extraterrestrial visitor arrives on Earth, his first impression of the human species are less than positive. Taking the form of Professor Andrew Martin, a leading mathematician at Cambridge University, the visitor wants to complete his task and return home to his planet in a utopian society of immortality and infinite knowledge. He is disgusted by the way humans look, what they eat, and the wars they witness on the news, and is totally baffled by concepts such as love and family. But as time goes on, he starts to realize there may be more to this weird species than he has been led to believe. He drinks wine, reads Emily Dickinson, listens to talking heads, and begins to bond with the family he lives with in disguise. In picking up the pieces of the professor's shattered personal life, the narrator sees hope and redemption in the human's imperfections and begins to question the very mission that brought him there. A mission that involves not only thwarting human progress, but murder. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Anything involving aliens, I am so in, and that sounds so freaking cool. That sounds very layered, too. It sounds like there's a lot to it. Wow, and he's got a whole family that doesn't know he's an alien, too. That's really cool. Wow. So then we have Shock Induction by Chuck Palahniuk. I never know how to pronounce his name, y'all, but I think that's how you pronounce it. Also, this cover is really cool. This is a, what do you call that? Let me show you. I'm gonna take this off. So when you take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like underneath. The back says, warning, there has been a string of suspicious teen suicides, no bodies found. Warning, a government-funded program has classic novels flying off the shelves. Why the hell is everyone reading Moby Dick again? Warning, if you're reading this, you've already read too far. Go wash your hands. So the reviews on this are not like stellar. It's average 3.37 on Goodreads, which is not great. 520 ratings so far. I know sometimes I tend to be in the minority sometimes. I've had some books that like had low ratings that I ended up loving. And I've had some that had high ratings that ended up hating. So you never know. I could still end up liking it. Either way, it's a really cool cover. So the synopsis on this book doesn't really explain. It's not clear what this book is about based on the synopsis that's in this. Like I was really, it really didn't tell me a lot, but on Goodreads, it really explains it better. It says, from the best-selling author of Fight Club comes a dark satirical parable about a string of mysterious high school disappearances, the seedy underbellies of billionaires, and the tough choices we make in the face of an uncertain future. In Shock Induction, the best and brightest students at a seemingly reputable high school are disappearing. Every day it seems another overachiever is lost to an apparent suicide, but something far more sinister is lurking beneath the surface. These kids have been under surveillance since birth, monitored and measured by an online service called Greener Pastures. It's here in Greener Pastures that billionaires observe and recruit the next generation of talent. The highest test scores, the best grades, and the most niche extracurriculars just might land these teenagers an enticing offer at auction. A couple $1 billion in exchange for the remainder of your life and intellectual labor sounds like a pretty fair deal, doesn't it? In a high school only Chuck Palahniuk, oh my god, I never can pronounce his name, could imagine, Students must choose between the risk of following their dreams or the security of money and a lifetime of servitude to the world's wealthiest and most elite. But how much of a choice do they truly have? Yeah, we'll see. The next two were sent to me from novels by Novel Suspects from Hatchet US. So I guess they sent it on behalf of Hatchet US. First one is To Die For by David Baldacci. This is a really pretty blue cover. This is actually the third in a series. This follows Travis. Travis, he spent years as an Army Ranger. He's worked on Wall Street, and he's this is supposed to be like very high action, a crime thriller mystery situation. And in this one, he's still running from an old enemy, which is this girl on a train. He's trying to lay low, but then now he's tasked with protecting this 12-year-old girl. She's lost her parents. Everybody thinks it's an overdose, and she's like, no, it's not an overdose. So there's this whole mystery surrounding her parents. He's trying to solve this huge mystery involving this girl's parents and trying to connect all these different dots. So it has pretty high ratings on Goodreads so far. It's gotten like over 350 ratings. It's rated at 4.39 so far, so it's gotten pretty good reviews. And yeah, it's supposed to just be really high action, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's a chunky book, but I've heard that it's a pretty quick read because of the high action and the high pacing, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next one they sent me was The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan. This is a cozy mystery adventure thriller situation. This one came out in October. Ratings are at 3.82 on Goodreads so far. It's gotten almost 850 ratings so far on Goodreads. On Goodreads, it's just described as everyone in my family has killed someone meets the Goonies. So that sounds like a fun combination. For nearly a century, people have ventured to the idyllic seaside town of Maple Bay in search of a legendary lost pirate treasure. But locals know there's more than just gold buried in the sand. As the paths of three strangers converge in Maple Bay, the truth is about to be blown wide open, but not before the bodies start to pile up. Peter Barnett is rapidly approaching 40 with little to show for it when a mysterious letter invites him to Maple Bay. In the mansion his estranged family has called home for generations, 17-year-old Dandy Feldson is isolated and adrift following the death of her beloved grandfather until his final request and a tantalizing clue sets her on a mission to solve the mystery he spent his entire life chasing. Cass Jones has given up on her dream of being a successful author when an unexpected opportunity lands in her lap, a house-sitting gig in remote Maple Bay, where she stumbles on the perfect subject matter for her breakout book, and a handsome sailor who might be just the person to help her research it. Peter, Dandy, and Cass have never met, but they're on a collision course with each other and the mystery that has defined Maple Bay for 2 centuries, and none of them are prepared for the shocking truths that may or may not still be buried there. I love a good cozy mystery, and you guys know I'm a mood reader, so I like to mix up all my different genres together. So this should be a lot of fun, and I'm all about a pirate treasure. The next stack was sent to me by At Random Books, which is an imprint of Random House. The very first one is not horror, but it's the one I'm most excited about. And this is the one I saw, I found the book and I reached out to them, and this is something I'd never done before. But I reached out to them and said, hey, how do I get my hands on this book? Do you guys have an ARC program? How do I get on it? Because I'm dying to read this book. And they said, we don't really have a system, but we don't really have a thing, but what book is it? And I told them, and they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. And they said, well, what kind of books do you like to read? And we'll just send you some stuff. So that was really nice of them, and I really appreciate it. And that is Sky Daddy by Kate Folk. You guys know that I like weird girl lit, and I just like really interesting books, and this is definitely that. This is about a woman who is sexually aroused by airplanes. How could I not? It just sounded really interesting. And she believes her destiny is to someday marry one of her suitors by dying in a plane crash, a catastrophic event that would unite Linda with her soulmate plane for eternity. Like, guys, this sounds really wild. I won't read you the entire synopsis because, you know, it's kind of long, but I'll let you guys look it up if you want to. But I have to read it. It sounds really wild. It sounds really interesting. Dying to read it. I'll be reading this one like ASAP as well because, yeah, I just have to. It comes out April 8th of 2025. And yeah, it just sounds really, really neat and really interesting. And I think Linda sounds like a really interesting character. Next up, we have The Puzzle Box by Danielle Trussoni. This is one that surprised me. This was not on my radar. I had not heard of this one, but the cover is really cool. Two sisters, a lost imperial treasure. The world's greatest puzzle master has 24 hours to solve the most dangerous mystery of his life or die trying. Okay. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. The synopsis itself is really very long, so I'm not going to get too much into that because, yes, it's very long. But that little bit right there, I think, should help you kind of figure out what that's about. That sounds really cool. And it's the year of the wood dragon. It's based in Tokyo, so it sounds like a kind of an adventure too. It's like an adventure story. Yeah, I like a good puzzle. It sounds like a puzzle, like an adventure puzzle, and a fantasy situation. And there's also like a thriller aspect to it. Yeah, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna get too much into that one because it's a long synopsis. But who doesn't like a good puzzle? It sounds really cool. Let you guys look that one up. Next up, I was sent, and you guys know this one was on my list because I told you guys it was in my list, and that is A Sunny Place for Shady People by Mariana Enriquez. I love this cover. It's so pretty. This is a diabolical collection of stories featuring achingly human characters whose lives intertwine with ghosts, goblins, and the macabre by one of Latin America's most exciting authors. There's like a long synopsis that goes with this, but like I said, I'll let you guys read that for yourselves. But that's like the little blurb at the top. But this was on my list, remember, that I was looking forward to coming out. Really excited to have that. Then they sent me Our Share of the Night, also by Mariana Enriquez. I think this one has been out, but I still didn't have my hands on it yet. A young father and son set out on a road trip, devastated by the death of the wife and mother they both loved. United in grief, the pair travel to her ancestral home, where they must confront the terrifying legacy she has bequeathed. A family called the Order that commits unspeakable acts in search of immortality. Moving back and forth in time from London in the swinging 1960s to the brutal years of Argentina's military dictatorship and its turbulent aftermath, Our Share of the Night is a novel like no other, a family story, a ghost story, a story of the occult and the supernatural, a book about complexities of love and longing with queer subplots and themes. That sounds really good. I know I've heard really good things about this. I've heard people talk about this forever. I've been wanting to get my hands on it, and I'm really excited to have this one as well. Next, I was sent Fever House by Keith Rosson. This is a really cool cover. Those colors are really amazing. This is another really long synopsis. So there's really no short way to say this, and I haven't read it, so I don't know how to explain it to you without just reading you the whole thing. When legbreaker Hutch Holtz rolls up to a rundown apartment complex in Portland, Oregon to collect overdue drug money, a severed hand is the last thing he expects to find stashed in the client's refrigerator. Hutch quickly realizes that the hand induces uncontrollable madness. Anyone in its proximity is overcome with a boundless compulsion for violence. Within hours, catastrophic forces are set into motion. Dark op government agents who have been desperately hunting for the hand are on Hutch's tail. More of the city's residents fall under its brutal influence, and suddenly all of Portland stands at the precipice of disaster. But it's all the same for Catherine Moriarty, a singer whose sudden fame and precipitous downfall were followed by the mysterious death of her estranged husband, suicide allegedly. Her trauma has made her agoraphobic, shackled within the confines of her apartment. Her son, Nick, has moved home to care for her, quietly making his living working for Hutch's boss. When Hutch calls Nick in distress, looking for someone else to take the hand, Catherine and Nick are plunged into a global struggle that will decimate the walls of the carefully arranged life they've built. Mother and son must evade both crazed, bloodthirsty masses and deceitful government agents while exercising family secrets that have risen from the dead, secrets they soon discover that might hold the very key to humanity's survival. Okay, so that sounds really good. It's got really great reviews on Goodreads. It has a 4.05, so it's pretty good. And they also sent me part 2, which is The Devil by Name. Also a really cool cover. And I'm not going to read you the whole synopsis because I don't know if there's any spoilers about part 1, and I haven't read the synopsis either just because I don't want to spoil it. So I have part 1 and part 2 of that. That's all the books that I have as of right now. I have some more on the way. I know from one author and then some publishers. But yeah, that's all I have for right now. And I have another that I ordered myself that I'm very excited about. And it's been like long awaited. Can't wait to show you guys. But as of right now, that's it. Next week will be a cozy book vlog. I desperately needed a de-stressor week. And yeah, just needed to like de-stress and do some like just some cozy movie watching and paint by number. I did a paint by number and just some reading, and yeah, I just need a de-stress week, and I thought I would take you guys along with me. Maybe I could just make it cozy and relaxing for you guys as well. So that's what I got coming for you guys next week. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a good week, and I hope you have a good weekend. I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.